Planning your Camino might sound simple.
Until 5 minutes later, you're drawing in the route options, stage length, packing lists, Facebook advices, and the strong opinion of people who walked it in 2009 and still talk about it like they've came back from the war. So after walking more than 20 Caminos together, we're going to simplify the whole process and help you to build a Camino that fits your time, your body, and the kind of experience you actually want to live. Because the truth is, you don't need to know everything right now. You just need to know things that matter first.
But first, let's break Camino planning into 4 big decisions, and inside of them, 7 simple steps. And this video is sponsored by Gronze, one of the best ways to plan your Camino from home and on the trail. Before you choose a route, before you look at flights, before you start comparing hotels and backpacks, ask yourself one thing: why do I want to do this?
Because not every Camino gives you the same feeling. Some Caminos feel social and supported, some feel quieter and more inward, some are gentler to the body, some ask a bit more from you. Why you're walking? Because it might sound a bit too deep in the beginning, but it matters more than actually people think. So why is your reason for doing that? What is your intention? Because once you set the intention, it's like a guiding light, it's like a lighthouse that will send you forward, especially during those difficult days. And we actually, as a Caminotellers, we prepared a special journal. We designed the journey within Camino journal, which really helps you with your reason and the intention that sets you for the Camino, with the questions like expectations or fears, which might and probably will happen. But then also it has this part which is on the Camino, helps you to address or maybe to face some of those moments that you might not necessarily be expecting. So what is your intention and what kind of experience you want to have? Because maybe you want rest, maybe you want challenge, maybe you want the clarity, maybe you want to grieve. Maybe you need this time for yourself rather than to have an everyday party mood. And you see many people skip this question why and go straight into the logic. But really, this is where the planning actually starts.
Once you know the kind of experience you want, then you can start looking at routes properly.
And this is where people often make it much harder than it needs to be. The second decision, without any doubt, is which route suits you best. Not those ones that everyone is talking about, but the one that fits your reality. How many days available you actually have, how many days you can devote to walking the Camino, not rushing through the Camino, but walking through the Camino. Knowing that will already tell you which starting point you actually have to choose. The next question is support. Do you want to support? Do you want more people around you? Yes. Or you want something more quiet, more peaceful, more to yourself, more self-sustained Camino that you will take care of yourself? And one of those most important of choosing the route is actually the season. Which season are you planning to walk? Because this will determine definitely which Camino could you choose. Some of the Caminos, especially the ones starting from the south of Spain, they're simply not realistic in the summertime, and those especially in the north and in the arid spring and the late autumn can be quite rainy.
A lot of first Camino mistakes don't come from choosing the wrong route. They come from choosing the right route for the wrong season, the wrong amount of time, or the wrong expectation.
So already your route choice should be based a little less on romance and more a bit of the fit. So this part sounds obvious, but changes everything. The third decision is how far realistically you should walk every day. Not in imagination, realistically. And this is where people start planning and thinking in a best self category, how fit you are. Can you walk for 30 days? Can you do the days of 30 kilometers? Or maybe you should look at the stages rather 15, 10 and 20 kilometers. I'll give you one really important tip. The first stages we do on our Caminos, the shortest stages you can imagine. That's how we warm up, especially if we have a 30, 40 days in front of us. The first days would be 10, 15, and maximum 15 kilometers, so the body can really adjust. And then whenever you're choosing the distance during your Camino, you have to pay attention to the terrain, because 25 kilometers on the day like this from Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port to Roncesvalles, one of the most famous of Camino routes, can look really easy. But this is until you look at the terrain and also the inclination. So is it a hilly part? Is it the gravel part? Is it technical? Have in consideration many different options before setting your ambitious 25 kilometers route. And the margin means a lot that people think, because 25 kilometers on the paper, it's totally different than 25 kilometers in real life, especially if you're already walking tired, especially if you arrive to your place and you're still on jet lag, especially if you don't have your water, your snacks, or maybe just simply you had a bad day. So having this margin, planning a little bit less, or having the flexibility to decide how many kilometers you want to walk, that really can save your bum. And especially if it's your first Camino, there is no price for destroying yourself on the day one.
A good Camino stage is not one that looks heroic on paper. It's one that lets you still enjoy and being alive the next morning.
So you see, when it comes to planning your first Camino, one of the easiest ways to get overwhelmed is trying to pull information from 10 different places and somehow turn them into the clear plan. That's why we used Gronze. Gronze is one of the oldest and the best known Camino planning platforms, and their website is specifically useful when you're still in the pre-Camino phase, trying to make sense of it all. You can compare different routes, look at the stages day by day, check distances and elevations, see the towns along the way, and get a much clearer picture of what your Camino actually looked like before you even start. I see that matters because planning the first Camino is not only about building the most ambitious itinerary, it's about building one that fits your time, your body, and the kind of experience you want to have. And once you're actually out there walking, they also have an app for the Camino, which we use all the time. Remember, the Gronze.com, you can find it in the Apple Store, Google Play Store, and in the link just in the description. What type of pilgrim you are? Let us know in the comments. Are you the one that reserves everything? Are you the one who reserves only 3 or 4 nights? Or are you the one that goes with the flow? Once you know roughly how far you want to walk each day, the next question becomes, where is that day actually likely to end? And this is where accommodation starts to matter. And the fourth decision is how much you actually want to book in advance. And that pretty much depends on the route, as many of the most popular routes will and might be really crowded, especially and some bottlenecks when they unite with other Caminos. Some routes and sometimes really require much more structure, and other times you can leave it quite open. But this is also personal, because some people feel calmer when they actually have reserved few stages in advance. Some people swear they wouldn't go with the flow and simply have all the stages reserved. But that also depends on the season that you walk, because you see, for example, now we're in the moment of the Holy Week. The Camino picked up 22%. So the season you actually walk will determine if there will be any availability for your accommodation. And have in mind that in a season, maybe if you're gonna go in the winter, you might have a bigger backpack. At the same time, so sometimes you wish to get to the place and you know you're gonna have a nice and comfortable bed. And the flexibility, because sometimes the Camino doesn't go as we plan, as in life, right? Whenever we choose our booking, we pay attention to few different aspects. The first one, obviously, what type of accommodation is that, because some of them we cannot reserve. The donation based in the municipal cannot be reserved. First arrived, first served. But then also important is how far away is it from Camino? Is it on the Camino itself? Is it before? Is it after? That really depends on the experience you want to have. But there are 2 other aspects which are really more important, obviously including price, is the aspect of reviews. In many places you hear people talking good or bad about the place. Many of the albergues are already mythical, and some of them aren't as good, aren't as homey, aren't as special as we wish. And another, and probably one of the most important parts of choosing the accommodation, maybe not even booking, but whenever we look where to stay in front, is the idea of the food. Because some of them you can find that they have community dinners, some of them they have a kitchen available, and some of them they actually have the restaurant and bar when you can chat, talk and laugh.
But you don't need to know every bed you'll sleep in for the next 3 weeks. You just need to understand the rhythm of the route.
Because when you stage planning and your sleeping options actually match each other, your Camino starts feeling much calmer.
Now we get to the simple but important stuff. Things like your credential, how to get to your starting point, when to book transport, whether you want the Compostela or not.
Basic physical preparation, understanding the season you're walking in. And none of this is glamorous, but is the part that prevents damn stress later. And this might be the most important part of all. At some point, planning stops being useful and starts becoming anxiety wearing a headlamp.
You don't need to predict every cafe stop, every blister, every weather shift, every bed, every emotional breakdown.
You just need a solid beginning, a route that fits you, enough time, realistic stages, and a basic sense of where you're sleeping and how you're getting there.
That's enough, because the Camino is not something you need to fully resolve before you arrive.
And the rest, the road will teach you. And if you're unsure which route is the best one for you, this video might open your eyes for a lot of more possibilities.